Well, as you can see, I'm not there. So I'm having to do my personal sharing by a little video thing, which I'm trying to make right now. What I'd like to talk about is, well, music. I'm going to go over the impact it's had on me personally and the changes it's made in my life and the importance it has had to me, as well as at the very end, you'll get a little snippet of my playing on my horribly maimed bass, which is sitting over another room, which is very upsetting, but it'll probably be upsetting to your ears too when you hear the out of tune and the unnatural resonances and wolf tones and stuff, but it'll be fun stuff. For me, my exposure to music didn't really start until probably around 6th grade. I mean, of course, I heard music in the car, and that was just in the background. It wasn't something I was actively involved in. It wasn't something I would request one way or another. It was just there. Of course, it was country music and pop music and whatnot, of all the things that show up on the radio before we had satellite radio. And it just never really seemed a part of anything to me. Well, come 6th grade year, I got a little iPod Shuffle, the little tiny one that clips on to stuff. Thought it was the greatest thing ever. Of course, first few songs I got were exclusively hip-hop, which is not an okay thing. But soon enough, I started branching out a little bit, and I stumbled on a little gem called System of a Down. I'm sure many of you have heard my rendition of Serge Tankian's Empty Walls as found on our IB Senior Facebook page. After this period, though, after 6th grade, as that goes on, as I'm going through my alt metal phase, I hit a little bump when all my friends started joining the St. Mary's band. This band at St. Mary's had only started the year before. It was not in great shape. So they were just picking up, but Miss Lambeth, the current band director there and also a 5th grade teacher, I believe, maybe 6th grade now, really improved things pretty quickly. I came in on my 7th grade year on the baritone horn. Now, for Dylan and Brandon, this is something terrible that I could not figure out for the longest time, but I couldn't play the F on open. It would go B flat, C, D, E flat, back down to B flat. It was a terrible experience for me for the first few months. After a bit of a shift there where that went on and on, I happened to get the game Rock Band for my birthday. I'm sure most of you remember that. It's Guitar Hero, albeit on steroids, with drums and stuff. That inspired myself, Brian Day, for those of you that know him, and Chris Rapp to come up with this wonderful idea to start a band. With Chris going to be on guitar, as his dad had a guitar. I was going to be on bass because who wants to play bass? And then Brian was going to play drums. Now, so what I asked for was a Fender Precision bass guitar, and I signed up to take lessons at Playground Music. This was a nice little start. I walk into my first lesson. I thought I had a young guy for a teacher. I didn't. He graduated college in 1952 at the age of 26. He's kind of old. Now, Mr. Bastone really started introducing me to jazz. I mean, of course, first few lessons I was playing stuff teenage boys would play, like Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin. But I would notice he'd have all these jazz real books or fake books out sitting around him. Whenever I'd walk in each day, he'd be practicing some jazz standard he was transcribing. And it got to the point where I was like, hey, could you show me how to do that too? So I started doing that. it didn't take long after getting exposed to playing jazz that I started listening to jazz. And the further along I got, the more I saw how the music, unless you're going past 1970, which you don't want to do if you're listening to good jazz, has double bass, the real bass, the gigantic bass. I didn't have one. So I then ask for a double bass, and then I'm hit with a debilitating illness where I'm out of school my entire 8th grade year. As a present, as I start getting better, I get a double bass, and that's when things start to change for me, music listening wise. I went from listening to all my rock and jazz music to starting edging into the whole classical territory, where I start being exposed to things I honestly have never heard before. Classical music was never really a part of my household, and it was something that I think was really eye-opening to me, because there truly is nothing like it. It's these works of genius that I don't think anyone could match today. It's something beyond what most of us can do and what anyone can do. I started off with the slightly poppier side of things. Mozart's 40, Mozart's 41, Beethoven's 5th, Beethoven's 9th. A little bit of piano stuff, maybe a Moonlight Sonata in there. But I started to explore a bit, and I really branched out and started having a better understanding of things that I personally appreciated as both a person and as a musician. And the more I grew on double bass, the more I began to appreciate all these varied styles. It started off with a love of the Baroque. Now I loathe it. It's so robotic and just mindlessly moving on, while the Romantic era started growing quite a bit on me, as has the classical era as I've gotten into opera. What I'd like to share with you now are a clip at least of Mozart's Die Zauberflaute, or Flauta, the Magic Flute. Malcolm will recognize this.
Klinget, Glöckchen, klinget, schafft mein Mädchen hier. Klinget, Glöckchen, klinget, bringt mein Weibchen hier. Klinget, Glöckchen, klinget, schafft mein Mädchen hier. Klinget, Glöckchen, klinget, bringt mein Weibchen hier. Klinget, Glöckchen, klinget, schafft mein Weibchen hier. Bringt sie hier, mein Mädchen hier, mein Weibchen hier. Der Eltern singen hier Es ist das höchste der Gefühle, wenn viele, viele Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, Papageno, Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Papageno, Papageno, Papageno der Eltern Segen werden sein. Eltern Segen werden sein. Eltern Segen werden sein.
Welcome back. What we just saw there was Papageno from Mozart's Magic Flute meeting Papagena, who is, or was, a fat old woman who attempted to copulate with him. That wasn't a pleasant experience for him at that time. Now it could be pleasant. Anyways, back to the task at hand. I really think, taken as a whole, my exposure to music has been something extremely positive. For me, it's been that one form of escape that I would otherwise not have. Anyone that's played Xbox with me before knows it gets a little intense. There's usually quite a bit of shouting involved, and I think the music really is kind of an outlet to that. When I had my severe chronic cough, what I would do is I would be coughing. If I was upright, I would cough. There was no way I could speak without resulting in extreme pain. It was an awful experience all around back in my 8th grade year. But one thing I could always do that would severely dampen it or almost make it go away was playing music. I would be able to sit down on my bass guitar and sit down and play on my lesson, and there would be no problem at all. It would ache a bit, but the coughing itself would die down. It wasn't something that was crippling as it would be normally just going to the, as I had to fly once. We went privately because it was just such a scare for other people to see this awful hacking sound. It was like a clubbed baby seal. And it just provides that kind of release of tension and allows for a form of relaxation and focus that I think most of the time we can't really appreciate or acquire in our normal lives. I'm sure everyone here has something that they have that helps them out, but for me that has been my music. And before I go to my little bass clip here at the very end of this, I would like to play one more thing from you, although this is in English and it does not have French subtitles, unfortunately. This is the Major General song from the Pirates of Penzance.
Hold, monsters! Ere your pirate caravanserai proceed against our will to wed us all. Just bear in mind that we are wards in chancery, and father's a major general.
We'd better pause, or danger may befall. Their father is a major general.
Yes, yes, he is a major general.
Yes, yes, I am a major general. For he is a major general.
He is a major general.
And it is a glorious thing to be a major general.
It is hurrah for the major general, hurrah for the major general.
It's the same as the Pirate King tune. I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both for simple and quadratical. About binomial theorem, I'm teeming with a lot of news. Lot of news. Got it. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings and animalculus. In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern major general. In short, it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. He is the very model of a modern major general. In fact, when I know what is meant by mammillon and ravelin, when I can tell at sight a Mauser rifled from a javelin, when such affairs as sorties and surprises I'm more wary at, and when I know precisely what is meant by commissariat, when I have learned what progress has been made in modern gunnery, when I knew more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery, in short, when I've a smattering of elemental strategy. Oh, my word, that's hard. Wait a minute.
Allergy.
Got it. You'll say a better major general has never sat as For my military knowledge, though I'm plucky and adventurous, has only been brought down to the beginning of the century, but still it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern major general.
Can you do it one more time?
Certainly.
And can you do it really fast?
What's this? In fact, when I know what is meant by mammal on unraveling, when I can tell a sight of mouse arrived from a javelin, when such affairs, sorties, and surprises I'm aware at, and when I know precisely what it meant by commissariat. Oh, when I have longer progress to be made in modern gunnery, when I know more of tactics than an officer in a nunnery, and sure, when I have a smattering of elemental strategy, you'll say a better major general has never rode a horse! For my military knowledge, though I'm plucky and adventurous, has only been brought down to the beginning of the century, but still it matters vegetable, animal, and mineral. I'm the very model of a modern major general!
Enough. You might sing
Okay, and that was the Major General song, which we've heard like a million different parodies of since we've been little kids. That 1870s humor is hard to beat. It really is. We just get it so well. But what we have finally, and I have to have a huge disclaimer on this, is me playing one of the pieces I learned on bass from a really long time ago. This isn't me saying, oh, I forgot how to play it, because I didn't forget how to play it. The problem is my bass is broken. It's been almost 6-7 months since it's had a visit to the luthier, who's essentially the tech. It needs a lot of work done, and you're going to hear that. It also does not hold its tune for more than about 2 minutes, so you'll notice that very quickly too, but I included it just so you could get a little feel for it. After a certain point, I expect you to have a little difficulty sitting through it. That's okay. You can turn it right off. And that's pretty much my personal sharing. I hope this went well. It's my first time working with this whole video equipment thing, so I guess you'll all find out tomorrow. Anyways, have fun.